Welcome back to Super Tuesday Recap. It's Kriss and Dpalm here, and we are here to review. First up, The Flash, Season 3, Episode, what was this, 3 or 4? This was...
4.
Yeah, I think it was. I'm sorry. I had this stuff down, and I did not write the thing. It is Episode 4, The New Rogues. Mirror Master joins his old partner, Top. It looks even the score was snark. Jesse joins the chase, but her decision to defy one of the Barry's orders results in a terrible consequence. Something with speedsters and not listening. Weird. Anyway, before we get into this...
They're impatient. It's a side effect.
Yeah, it's just what it is. First of all, do we have any new reviews?
No new reviews.
No new reviews. All right. So, before we get into this, Dpalm finally caught up on this season of Supergirl.
Look, man. Like, I feel like, I don't know if everybody remembers the Dave Chappelle skit when Arsenio Hall slapped people about the cheese. Why don't you tell me the cheese is so good, man? Why did no one tell me this was this good? Like, yeah, we don't review that show. I'm not going to spoil anything, but these first, is it 4 episodes now? 3 episodes?
I think it's 3.
It's 3.
Yeah.
Yo, these first 3 episodes. Like, what? The girl who plays Supergirl should be protected at all costs. She's adorable. She's killing that role. And, I mean, it's just for everybody. We talked about on the show. The dude that plays Superman. What the fuck? That was Superman.
I knew you would enjoy
Kriss,
that.
That was Superman.
Here's the thing. When it comes to, everybody knows Dpalm and I don't always agree on Superman. But I saw that Superman. I was like, you know what? This is one I think that Dpalm will be enjoying. I knew it. I was like, that works. This is one where we can all come together and we can all agree on this one. We might not agree on anything else, but we can agree on this one. And I was like, that works. Yeah, it works.
I can't believe it.
Mm-hmm. And then you got, in episode 2, you get Martian Manhunter fighting beside Superman.
I don't want to talk about anything. I'm just talking about that they captured what Superman's supposed to be, and they put him on a television screen. What? They really captured it. And they made him human, like him and that certain other character not getting along. They didn't make him, they made him human. I'm so mad at Zack Snyder.
Oh, Justice League coming out in 2017.
So irresponsible for him to be in charge of the movie. I'm like, after that Superman, because there's a party that's like maybe, and even if you look at what Marvel did with Cap, they captured that earnest positivity in such a cynical age. But I know it's a tough thing to grab. So maybe I'm thinking maybe they just can't do it. Maybe it's one of those things they screen test and it just doesn't work. Maybe I'm just being too idealistic. Nah, motherfuckers, y'all's excuses are gone. That was Superman. If I were to fall off a crane tomorrow and I yelled Superman help me, I'd expect him to show up and catch me. That was Superman. This show's amazing. If you're not watching Supergirl, if you're like, I didn't watch season 1, I can't watch, get in now. Just watch it. It's great. You'll pick up a wrinkle, I think it's 35 minutes into the first episode, that all right, light spoilers. Because it's all from season 1.
I don't know why you're acting like you can't spoil it. We have Shannon and the Doctor literally do recaps and
when I figured out that Wayne was the Toyman's son, I was like, shot. Oh shit, yeah, man, this show, yeah. Thank you, CW. Here's an hour of my week. Thank you. I'm not gonna watch it live. I'm definitely not gonna lie to it.
Yeah, but I know. Every now and then you need to have a show that you just watch for fun,
and
you unplug, and you don't got to worry about anything, and just enjoy. But yeah, man. So that leads into actually this episode for The Flash, because so I watched that, right? We watched Supergirl, and then I come in and watch The Flash, and you literally we got a taste of Jesse running with the Flash last week.
Bro, we got Silver Age goodness. We have Mirror Master in the top versus Flash and Jesse Quick. That is the story. We're going to talk about the rest of it, but like those words came out of my mouth and they accurately described the episode. We're living in a golden age.
Like it were the scene where they like when they're like, hey, let's go train, and you had Barry and Jesse running through this training facility, and I'm just going, we're really having two speedsters run. There's no way the Flash in the movie is just gonna make this. I hate that I feel that way now. Doomed
right now.
I hate that I feel this way.
Just don't make it.
I honestly hate that I feel this way.
Who benefits if you make it? Like what's the upside to making this movie?
There's no.
Someone tell me what's the upside after what I just watched. What's the upside?
I just don't see how you get through. Because by the time, here's the thing we forget. By the time the time the Flash movie comes out, because that's 2018, that puts us at what? 4 seasons of Barry Allen on TV.
I think by the time Justice League comes out, I'm going to get at least one scene of Jesse Quick, Kid Flash, the Flash, and the other Flash running together. So, yeah, I would say it's little bit of an uphill battle.
And maybe Superman, Supergirl.
I think we've already had that. Oh, you mean the same scene? No, I'm not greedy. Separate universes.
I'm greedy. Could there be a crossover?
No, the crossover's got to be small and contained, especially ones that are transdimensional. I understand that shit. Let the Flashes be the Flashes.
Just saying, man. What would you give to see?
Look, man, they already gave you Superman holding Supergirl like Crisis 8, man. Like, I don't know.
So I'm saying, like, you tell me that nobody's there going, well, we have Superman, we have a Flash, let's have them race. They already did a Supergirl, a Barry Allen race. You got to do a Superman race, right?
Those are for charity, Clark. But if I get those are for charity, ever. This is perpetuity. If I ever get those for charity, Clark, it's a wrap.
You know what I love about this season of The Flash so far is that when they did Flashpoint and they made these changes, they did Flashpoint, they got it done out of the way, and they came back and they still had some changes made from the universe. What they quietly did was they made an excuse to make things more comic booky.
Oh yeah.
And I'm loving it. Loving it. It's
perfect. It's greatness.
Yeah. So you mentioned we get some new rogues, if you will. Some of the original rogues. We have Sam Scudder, Mirror Master.
With an Evan McCullough shout out, by the way, which I really appreciate.
So here's what I love about that, all right? So they went with making Sam Scudder a meta, which is kind of like what happens in New 52. Well, actually, I think, is it Ian or is it Scudder? I can't remember which one.
No, it's Scudder.
It's Scudder in New 52, which, again, wasn't one of the small changes in New 52 wasn't that bad. And I think making him a meta and making the top meta in this makes sense for the show. But what they did with giving this Evan McCullough shout out is, what does Harry say? Oh, well, in our Earth, he uses a gun. He uses a mirror gun, which means at some point we might get a Mirror Master with a cheesy costume and a mirror gun.
Well, also, I think it was really good of them to, and I agree with you, I think it actually works a lot better on this show if he's a meta. Just because of the world they built, it's tough to introduce another gun villain.
Right.
Because you backdoored how you made the heat gun and the freeze gun. What I really enjoyed was just the idea that this seeds back to prior. I like the fact that they were able to seed this back to prior to the particle accelerator explosion.
Right.
And they're able to seed it back to the seasons 1 and 2 that we didn't see now because it's a different timeline.
Exactly.
We've never met the top.
Right.
Burying them like, oh yeah, she's a meta. She's already locked up in Iron Heights, which is specially outfitted for metas now because keeping them in your basement wasn't the best idea. Yeah. But it's also a pretty big comic booky idea to have a prison full of metas. Mm-hmm. They found ways to kind of massage, like you said, yeah, they used Flashpoint as kind of like the back door, but they found ways to massage everything and make everything fit and make sense.
Right. Because you got to think about it, and this happens with shows all the time. you get your first season in, you try a few things, you don't know how long it's gonna last, so you don't try to go too big. Second season, you start feeling yourself. It's like, okay, maybe they'll take. Third season, they're like, okay, we can do that stuff. And when you have a show that deals with multi dimensions and time travel, you can easily make these changes, and they're basically retconning stuff. That's basically what they're doing.
It's in a grand DC tradition, to be fair.
Right. And except it makes sense.
It's working.
It makes sense, and it's logical and thought out. And so you can go back and make these changes, like you said, with, hey, we no longer keeping Metas locked up in Star Labs because, fuck, that was stupid. Now, now it's done way better, you know? And it's a subtle, small change that you barely even notice. So, yeah, man, I love that. And I love that, like you said, just when you get Mirror Master. I mean, we got Mirror Master. Like
no bullshit Mirror Master.
Like next time I see him, I do need him in a costume. But I can take Dapper Mirror Master for
Well, I think one of the good things about using, because if you guys have listened to our Wally West character corner, which you should, or our Flash Rogues Gallery character corner, we talk about Evan McCullough, how he's a more interesting Mirror Master. Mm-hmm. They gave him like a really well fleshed out backstory. He's like a lost orphan who becomes an assassin.
Right.
Sam Scudder is basically a blank slate. Mm-hmm. And so everything you saw on screen that was like resonating or like you felt brought depth to the character, that was brought by this team. Him being a narcissist who was always staring at himself, that makes so much sense. But guess what? Evan McCullough doesn't like to look at himself in the mirror because he carries so much guilt. I like that this is a Mirror Master that's kind of leaned into the powers of it all.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like I said, and I was very intrigued by what they did with, and I thought it was smart too what they did with Top's powers.
Well, that's by the way, they did the gender change, which I appreciated.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think yeah.
But that's also how his powers work to an extent in the comics.
Exactly. So it's like, how are you going to show it? And I thought
the visualization of it all,
yeah, and I thought that was a very well done way of handling that. So yeah, and I look. The other thing I like about it too is I think in New 52 isn't Scudder and Snart's sister.
Cold Divider.
So what they did here, they instead of going that route, it's like, hey, gender swap Top. Put Top and Scudder together, and then you bring in this backdoor beef with Snart, which again kind of makes sense,
right?
And at some point you see Snart coming back and basically telling them we got to put our differences aside so we can deal with the Flash,
right? So we're getting the Rogues, like we're really gonna get the Rogues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can't wait for that. Yeah. Can't wait for that. Give me 1 second.
You're good.
And yeah. So I just that's what I'm that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for this moment, and this. Maybe it's the end of this season or whatnot, where Barry's facing off against an actual rogue gallery, like not just a handful of rogues here and there, but actual the team of them. With their rules and everything like that. And you even kind of see that with where the original beef between Scudder and Snart. It's like, hey, you broke the rules, man.
There are rules.
There are rules to this, and you didn't listen. Come on. And again, I fucks with that. So, what else we got here? Going right back to the beginning, like I was saying, seeing Jesse and Barry run and together, it's never going to get old.
They put Jesse in the suit.
Yeah. I mean, last week, it was fun. We got Jesse running. Cool. We saw the suit. Oh, okay, we'll see her in the suit at some point. Nope. Got her in the suit now. And that was the moment when I go, I don't... When I saw that, that's when I was like... the movie has no chance.
None.
Like, I mean, you literally get Barry teaching another speedster, and I love that he was like, "Oh my god, I sound like Oliver."
No, oh my god, turn it Oliver. Like that was such a really great because I was thinking it too. I was like, this is a very Oliver season 1 or training Diggle or training
because
Speedy type thing.
Well,
and they just flat out said it, which I didn't expect.
Well, not only that, but it definitely the Oliver thing. But what I loved is the evolution of Barry that we haven't missed, right? Because we even got into the situation now because Barry would rush into head first. Remember in season 1 how many times Barry would rush into a situation first and not think? And now he's sitting here with Jesse and he's literally going, basically, don't be me.
Right.
Don't do the dumb things that I did, which, yeah, you have this speed, but you can't just run in there. You need to outthink your opponent. You need to do this. And you're literally going, oh, man. Like, this, Jesse's getting what Barry never got, season 1 and 2, technically.
Right.
She has the actual Flash. And what is, yeah, she has the actual Flash teaching her how to be a Flash.
The Flash.
Right. And it's just
this show, man.
It's just one again, and this is why again I'm behind on the Flash comic, but this is one of the things that I was loving so much about what I've been reading so far. And that is that you got Barry teaching people how to use their speed and how much
you're really going to enjoy this week's Flash comic. That's all I'm going to say about
dude,
that.
I saw the cover.
Oh, that's
yeah, I know.
Sorry.
It's not. I got it. I was
Kriss, the last page. It's the last page.
Oh man, I can't wait. But it's just like that's that. I mean, that's what you wanted, and that's what we got. We got, you know. I mean, and beyond just that, the visuals of it just look great anyway. Of seeing them, like as Barry is running and he decides to go up the side and then is running above her as she's running below, and it's just like it's incredible. And then I look at what we've seen so far in the movie, and I'm like, you guys really think that's gonna work? You guys, like, I'm getting this every week, and you guys think that stutter stop Barry with the blue light?
I'm trying to think about what it would take for me to go see the movie. And I'm a Flash fan. I'm completely serious. I was like, what review would I need to hear to be like, all right, I gotta go see it? Like, if it needs to come out in the summer, because if it comes out like a Tuesday when this show is airing, I'm like, no.
I'm telling you right now, the only thing that's saving it right now is got a black director. Like that's it for me right now. I'm just like, oh well, you know, I gotta support my own, so you know. I don't know. Maybe he'll come out on some All Lives Matter shit or something like that, or some respectability politics shit.
I'm not going to cheer for that, but if it happens, it'd make my decision a lot easier. It would really help selfishly.
Yeah.
It would help me.
Yeah, it just would. And again, I'm not trying to be a downer. It's just that this show is nailing what the Flash is, and it's making changes. Don't get me wrong. We got plenty of changes coming in here. And even though, like, what I love about this show so far this season, this has been all the shows we've been watching, are they've all gotten back to their basics, and there's something very familiar about all of them. Even Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., something very familiar about it all, but it's still different enough. Favorite moments in this episode are the fact that I can never get enough of Cisco and Harry.
Yo, the fact that Mopey Cisco lasted for about 20 minutes was the best decision this show's ever made. I was like, well, I'm not here for depressed Cisco. And they were like, neither are we. I was like, all right, great. Huh.
All he needed was his partner in crime back. Like,
right?
Listen, I can watch a show. Like, he has powers and he's a meta. But if they never gave Cisco powers, I could watch a 30-minute sitcom called Harry and Cisco.
It just be all the new Odd Couple and just have them name metas. When he jumped on Mirror Master, the look of disappointment was so real.
And then when he rushed to get Top in there,
Top, what now? Like, I was like, all right, this is great.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that, and I love that this Wells is more relaxed, even though
his daughter's not kidnapped.
Right.
It's so. and it goes. I mean, obviously we know it intellectually, but it's so interesting that they chose to show us that, to show us a Wells who's not going through trauma, and how different he is,
Right.
without ever saying like, yeah, he was being a bigger asshole because his daughter was kidnapped. That's the only difference from last season.
Right. And now he's just being the concerned dad because his daughter has super speed. And man, listen, when when Jesse took Wally by the hand and ran out, he was like, "No touching." I was like, "Oh my God, it's Dad Wells."
It is truly Dad Wells.
We got Dad Wells. Like, I didn't know I wanted more Dad Wells, but I want Dad Wells now. Dad Wells, Dad Harry might be my new favorite character on the show. Oh my God!
Let's also commend the show for giving us assorted Harrys.
Oh,
because that was a great little bit. That, by the way, that's something that they wouldn't normally, like some shows wouldn't do. They're like, oh no, that's a little too over the top and comic booky. No, not this show. That's just comic booky enough.
Well, so we should take some time to really commend Tom Cavanaugh for, and this is something that we've noticed, and I've noticed this particularly with all of the comic book shows. There's usually, and they're never going to get credit for this. They're never going to win an Emmy or get any kind of real, big name recognition for this. But these shows have repeatedly asked for certain actors and actresses to play multiple versions of the same character and nail them every time. I mean, we famously know what went on with Brett Dalton and Grant Ward.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to watch Fringe.
I know.
No, like you making this point and having not seen Fringe is criminal.
I know. Listen, if I could clone myself and have somebody else do it, I would. I just do not have the time. I will get to it. I will. I promise.
You're gonna finish watching Fringe and you're gonna ask why Anna Torv hasn't done anything since, and I'm gonna tell you I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean it's one of the things. And we have Tom Cavanaugh here doing the same thing. I mean, this is even without getting the other Wells that we got coming in, which I thought, like you said, was a great comic book thing they did. But just off of season 1, where he was playing, he wasn't even Wells. He was Thawne playing Wells.
Right.
Season 2, he was concerned, stressed out father who had his daughter kidnapped from arrogant.
Who also stabbed the team in the back by stealing Wally's or Barry's speed.
Yeah. And was from Earth 2. Now you have Earth 2, is the more relaxed, but his dad Harry, and doesn't want to admit it, but genuinely misses this team. And then decides to help them try to find. Like, I thought it was. I didn't think they were going to go through with it. I was like, this is silly. Wait, you're gonna go? You're literally.
Yeah, they were setting them up to be like, oh, I have to say, you can never replace me.
Yeah, you're gonna go fishing for other wells. And I was like, I mean, that makes sense because you have a whole multiverse of wells out there. You can find one. That's just, but are you serious? And they did it. And
they really did do it.
And then you get you get these different wells, and he plays each one of them, and they're all like, I almost want to get an entire episode of each one of them. Like try them out like a pair of shoes.
Yo, Hillbilly Wells that cracked the algorithm. I'm like, yes, I'm here for Hillbilly Wells.
Yo, you get him in an episode, and then you find out he's voting for Trump. You're like, no, okay, listen, no, you gotta go. Like
it's like the Black Jeopardy. Blank Lives Matter. Ooh,
I got
a lot lasted, Doug.
I got a lot to say about that one. I'm sure you do.
Sure you do.
I'm sure you do.
Oh yeah, that was I think I like that we got Harry saying that HR he got a bad feeling from, and that was pretty obvious foreshadowing, but I appreciate it anyway.
Yeah,
I just the whole thing's been great. Like this has been a really great fun episode.
No, it really was. And going back to, like, I love one that you could tell that he didn't want to go. Like, I think, I can't remember if it was Caitlyn or Cisco brought that point out. It's like, you kind of don't, you're you've bonded with this team now, and you don't feel comfortable leaving them with somebody else. You know, even if it is you from another world, you don't trust that because they're not good. In a way, he almost treats them like his kids. It's like you wouldn't leave Jesse with somebody else like that, would you? No. I mean, as much as he doesn't want to admit it, he's bonded with this team, and I think eventually we do see this Wells and Jesse come back.
Oh, definitely. This is not the last time we've seen Jesse.
Right, because there's definitely something wrong with HR, y'all. No. Like, because you gotta ask yourself, why would you leave your own Earth to come back to another Earth just to live and do, like, yeah, it's an adventure, but like you have no family, you have no concerns, you have no, like.
Kriss, you don't trust anymore, man?
No, I do not. I don't trust any, like, again, and all I could think of to myself in the back of my mind was, this is a bad idea, guys. This is a really bad idea. Like, okay, yeah,
like
you lucked out.
Hitchhiker in a horror movie.
Right, you lucked up with Earth 2 Wells, and even then, he still technically stabbed you guys in the back at first. Yeah. You know? Like, so you're 0 for 2. Like, this one turned it, like, I'll give you 0 for 1.5 because he turned it around. But, guys, like, you are not good with guys from... Matter of fact, you're not good with anybody from other dimensions because fucking Zoom was from another dimension. So, technically, you have... No. This is not going to go good. Although, I will say, I think an interesting twist will be that if he's not, like he's up to something, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I think that's where we're headed. I think it's like, why didn't you trust him? And then he's going to turn heel, like, much later. But I think this is the why didn't you trust him part.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Let's talk about that awkwardness with Barry and Iris, which I gotta say, I totally understand.
Thank you for addressing a television show. Oh, look, that's pretty much his sister.
I saw people try to act like it wasn't supposed to be awkward, and I'm like, wait, guys, are we not understanding the dynamic here? Like, he was raised by Joe, who
as her brother.
Now, granted, they're not brother and sister.
They're not.
But how they were raised, and so you're meaning to tell me that Joe, on one hand, wouldn't find it awkward that the kid he basically raised as a foster kid fell in love with his biological daughter, and that the kid that was raised that way wouldn't feel awkward that his basically adopted dad. Like, think about it. Your first time going over to your girl, your significant other's or a girl you liked house, and meeting her father, and that awkwardness there. You don't kiss in front of the father, thing like that. Yeah, it's gonna be awkward.
Yeah,
that is just. Like, sometimes I think we forget that, like, I think sometimes we watch a show and we forget how things act. Like, there's a difference between how we think things should act on like online and things like that. Online, yeah, everything's progressive. It shouldn't be wrong. Make out in front of him. It's fine. Like, have Barry and Iris make it out in front of Joe, and Joe's the cool dad and going, yeah, sure, no fucking problem. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not how that works in real life.
That's not how any of it works.
It never works that way in real life. And if you tell me it does, I'm going to call you a liar. I'm going to call you a liar. I'm sorry, but it is you are yes. Because it should be awkward.
I'm going to call you a liar, and I'm not sorry about it.
It is very, very awkward. Come on, man. Like, Joe comes home, and Iris and Barry are making on the, like, come on. Of course Barry's going to use that speed to be like, oh, no, I wasn't doing anything. No,
I was wondering what took Barry so long.
Right. You didn't hear you didn't hear
gonna move.
You didn't hear the car pull up. You didn't hear the key into the what?
It shouldn't have gotten to where you needed the super speed.
Right, man. Come on, man. It's the one thing I will say that was I think that wasn't and again maybe it's because of the time differences, but they made it and maybe because maybe this never happened. Remember, Joe kind of basically asked Barry to move back in. You know, I think it was last season. So when they were acting like, oh, it's time for you to get your own place, I'm like, yeah, you guys were basically having the bachelor pad before, and we're cool with that shit. So, yeah, let's call it what it is.
Right.
You want to sleep with Iris, and you can't do that in her father's house. That's what it is. Like, it's one thing. Like, dog, you gonna put the sock on the door to tell your roommate to come in, but your roommate is your father? Come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. There's too much awkwardness, yo. He's got to get his own place.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Yeah. This is not because, you're being a bum and you're living at home with your parents. No, this is one of those, your roommate is literally her dad, so no, you got to get your own place. Like, you can't. This is not
you
gonna
gotta
work.
go.
You got to go. She can't, I'm staying over tonight. None of that. And I love that they were both equally awkward about it. It wasn't just Barry, it was also Joe. Because Joe's look at his face was like, yeah, I know that I said that I knew that he liked her, and but now I see it. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. Several people pointed this out. I got an email from this. The Red Pillow, big fan of your podcast, watching the Flash episode titled "The New Rogues," and Barry is going on an Irish, but it's a classic coitus interruption when Joe walks in. Awkward. Notice the strategically placed red pillow in Barry's lap as Joe walks upstairs. Flies over Kitty's head, but yeah, I saw it and I approve. Sean, when you're about to, you think about to get some, and then her dad walks in. Yeah, that was just Yeah, Barry. Yeah, you gotta get your own place, man.
You don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
Can we, as we've talked this whole time, we haven't brought up the fact they put the fucking Flash inside a fucking mirror. Like, what? Didn't a Twin Peaks joke with the, because he was talking backwards?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
No, I love, again, it's just and then I love that he used science and his smarts to defeat Mirror Master at the end. And then use that to hold him in Iron Heights now. They've been doing this, but they've gone full comic book.
100%.
And I'm here for it. Also, gotta love what is with the Westmen and just dropping? Well, actually, just
it's the West gene.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, because I was
hereditary.
Like,
yeah,
Barry likes me,
yeah,
and like the whole world's like, Jesus Christ.
Look, all right. So you had Jesse over here running around with Wally and doing all this stuff. Then she kisses him, and then Wally has that whole, well, you're going to another Earth. Listen. All right.
If the West's romantic lives were a Madden game, their awareness would be zero. No awareness.
This is another one of those. All right, step out of the TV world and let's go in reality. How many guys do you know, or how many people, period, do you know that when they are kissed by somebody they are attracted to, start immediately thinking about, well, you live too far away. Start doing. Nobody does that. Nobody. All right. I'm not allowing this one. I'm not allowing this one to slide. This is fumbling on the one. All right? Mad fumbles, dog. Mad fumbles. Between this and then Joe fumbling with that fine ass DA, listen, dog, we need to have a pep talk. I need you to get your head in the games, guys. Get your head in the games. All right? We got on we got on Barry, but at least Barry went out and okay. Now what about everybody else? What's going on here, man? What's going on here? Come on. The signals were there. The signals with Jesse and Wally were there in last season when they were at the bar. She wanted Wallace.
From the moment she met him.
From the moment she met him, she wanted Wallace. All right? Wally just mad.
No awareness. The ball bounced off his helmet. He has no awareness in that.
You know what? I will give him this. He was like a cornerback who got burned for a TD. He did recover. He did come back later on, when she needed some reassuring and got it in there. But I'm just saying that initial one, man. Come on, you should never have happened, yo. Should never gotten this far, yo. Should never gotten this far.
100%.
And then the Joe one is the one that bothers the fuck out of me because he was about to hit her up with, "Hey, you want to go to dinner?" And then they got interrupted. Then she decides, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do the one to do." And he goes, "Oh well, I got dinner with my kids." Nigga, what? Nigga, what? You mean the kids that are dating? Like Joe was literally the odd man out because it was Wally and Jesse and Barry and Iris. Yo, Joe, why? Joe. Come on, Joe.
If Barry was a real hero, he would have said, "Nah, Joe, we've got movie night.
Right.
Don't worry about it. You go have fun."
Right.
We'll rain check this week's movie night, Joe. Go. No, Barry's no hero.
This hero definitely doesn't wear a cape.
The Flash is the hero. The Flash is the hero. Barry Allen is a bystander.
Right. How are you gonna let your man go down like that? Like just Barry. Oh my God.
Yo,
no.
getting him out of the house is good for everyone. Barry.
No wingman credit there at all. Like Barry is the worst wingman of all time. Like Barry should have slid in on some. Like you're absolutely right on this one. I'm not even putting this on Joe. I'm putting this on Barry. Just terrible wingman.
Like Joe was like, "Oh, I got nervous. Shit happens."
Right. And I'm like, Barry, you couldn't slide in there on that joint. Like that's what the wingman is for. The wingman, wing woman, you come in, you slide in, you make an excuse, you do something, you help them out. Maybe you invite her over for movie date, so fucking it's a triple fucking date. Awkward, but fucking still you do something. Like when
you know who Barry is? Barry's a shoot first point guard.
Oh my God.
They don't call it pass guard. They call it point guard. Man wide open under the basket. Barry's over here pulling up the hash mark, yo.
I got mine. That's basically what Barry did there on that. I want everybody to know how much of an asshole Barry Allen is in this episode. Barry basically on some, I got mine. And let Joe hang, yo.
The hero. Barry Allen, civilian.
Oh my God, I am disgusted.
And how dare he turn to Joe? What happened there? Hey, fuck you, Barry. How about you be a friend?
Well, like, I would have turned to Joe, but like, I would have turned to Barry, and be like, my man, what? You didn't?
Barry says, "What happened to you?" I'm like, "What happened to you?"
Yo, Barry, that friend. Like when you out somewhere and something happened, you start running, and you look around and you can't find your friend nowhere. Then you finally eventually catch up with him and like, "Oh yeah, man, I heard. I just started running. I thought I looked for you. I thought you were right behind me." No, man, I got caught up. Oh my God. Yeah, Barry, come on, man. All that speed, still slow on the uptake, man.
Slow.
Fuck. All right. So, Caitlyn.
Miss Snow, if you will. Dr. Snow, I believe. I apologize, Miss Snow, Dr. Snow.
So obviously her powers are getting harder for her to control. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, do you think it's weird? Because on the one hand, she could control them to raise the glass to the temperature needed so Barry could get out secretly so nobody can see. And then, but then when she's in the shower, seems like she wasn't able to control it then. So, like, I guess my thing is, where do you think they're going to go with it? Do you think they're going to go Killer Frost with her, or do you think they're going to do something different with her?
Well, first things first. If you're listening and you have superpowers and it changed your hair color, don't cut your hair out. It seems like a rash decision that you'd have to explain with a lot more lies. You could get hair coloring and just, hey, I feel like darkening my hair, lightening it up. That's a much easier cover than why is there a chunk of your hair missing?
Well, no, to be fair, she's around a bunch of guys who probably won't notice.
I also notice. Girl, your hair's fucked up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that one.
Secondly, I think we're gonna get the Caitlyn Snow heel turn. I think she's gonna. I think that it'd be very weird to have like a, because if you do the team like, because now
you have too
many. We've seen Cisco in the field.
Mm-hmm.
You bring Caitlyn in the field. Not only does it create a team, but you're really screwing over Wally.
Right. No,
Wally's gonna get really impatient.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of leaning that way too, and I think because I think everybody liked Danielle better when she was Killer Frost too. So,
but like if they try to fix her and they can't, or if they find somebody to make it worse, like there you go. Like they didn't just ruin me; they made it worse. They tried to kill. Like you get, there's a lot of different ways you can tell this story where she ends up on the other side of the team.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to be interesting to see how deftly they pull it off. Because if you watch the the episodes in Earth 2, when she meets Killer Frost, she asks, "What happened? How did this happen?" She says, "Well, she said she fell out of medical school and had to move back in with her mom. Her mom was so frigid and cold to her that this happened one day."
Oh, well, that makes sense. Here's the thing. The thing is, we're meeting her mom soon.
I know. And I don't think this happened. I don't think she lives with her mom in this universe. I do think that she may have been experimented on previously. Because her mom's apparently a scientist too.
Oh. That would.
And that makes it, that way you can divorce it from the particle accelerator.
Which I think they've been doing a really good job this season of having multiple ways of seeding.
Well, yeah, because the Earth 2 bad guys are still locked up. They've got obviously the alchemist thing. Mm-hmm. And they're able to dip back to season 1 with this episode because clearly Mirror Master and Top got their powers from the particle accelerator.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I also love the fact that Harry basically tells Cisco as much. He's like, listen.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, listen, that device did not work. He's like, and Cisco's like, what do you mean? He's like, he just looks over and Harry looks over at Snow and I'm just saying, it didn't work. It wasn't the device. You do the math, and I want to know if Cisco is smart enough to figure out. And I don't think he did. I don't think he picked it up.
I don't think he believes it though.
True, that might be it.
Because in his mind, Caitlyn would tell him. Mm-hmm. But you got to remember that at least in the world we saw, Cisco hid his powers for a good long while until Harry outed him.
Right.
Because Harry's kind of a dick.
Yep. The only thing I would say that kind of did stand out to me is something that was just kind of iffy on. I really want to know where they're going with Wally because he's being carted around the city by Jesse, but didn't seem to have too envious of the powers this time. So I really want to know what more is going on with him there. Because we got a hot and cold where he's literally trying to jump in front of a car to get the powers, and now he seems to be okay with it. I think
they're just slow playing it for him because you don't want to have him. Because the harder he pursues it, the faster you have to resolve it. Right. I think this is, like we said last week, he's kind of the star of this season. It's going to be his arc that gets developed, and I think that's going to be going over a longer course of the season.
Yeah, I think the show is doing a really good job of developing multiple characters and getting them all their time to shine. And there's a lot of characters on the show, and it's doing a good job of getting those moments with everybody. So it's great. And I'm not gonna lie, I got to go back to this. I just love the fact that Jessie introduced herself as Jessie Quick.
Awesome.
Facing off against the Top and Mirror Master. And
it's such a comic booky sentence.
Right.
And then the Mirror Master traps Barry in a mirror.
Yeah. I like that whole thing, that whole scene. First of all, and again, if you wonder why I keep bringing up the cinematic universe, is this reason. Did anybody else get a feeling that scene with Barry and Jesse facing off against Mirror Master and the Top remind you of the scene in Suicide Squad when the Flash shows up? Like they're in a hallway in a bank, and I'm just like, I'm like, God damn it, man, this just feels so much better. I
hadn't even made that comparison, but you're right.
It felt like the same exact hallway.
Well, it's so funny because that scene's over in pun intended, a Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, this one turned into a chase scene where they're traveling through mirrors.
Right, and up the walls, and they
Oh, man.
Barry and Jesse jump from building to building through the air using the. Good luck anybody doing the Flash in cinematic universe. You know, I was one of those people that was like, listen, let's wait to see what they do. I think it'll be fine. There's a way. To me, there was a way you could do two Flashes. There's a way you could do it on the TV, and a way you can do it in the movies. And it was to basically treat the movies as your way of telling the origin story, and just have the Barry be the competent Flash in the movies, and it had been fine. Or even better, make Wally. You could have done Wally West and had no fucking problems. And DC,
you could even have done. You have to. You know what? Honestly, and I'm just saying this because I know how movie theaters work. Movie studios think. You could have gone with just white redheaded Wally too.
Yeah,
taking a step even more further removed from the television show.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, they could have made Ezra Miller Wally, and it would have been fine.
Oh,
you know, they could have done
such a missed opportunity.
They could have done it in the way you do it is you then don't have to tell the origin again because you already got the origin on TV. You have
there was apparently a draft of Justice League going around that opens with Barry Allen's funeral, and while that follows with the Zack Snyder motif open and close with funerals. Which is still the weirdest decision to make. I'm sorry, objectively, it's a weird decision. Anyway, this is a Justice League movie that started with Barry Allen's death and is kind of the emergence of Wally West as the Flash, which is a good it's a solid story.
Yeah, I mean,
and of course they're telling something else now, which is fine. But using using a young hero as the lens into which you view this established universe is a pretty good introduction to the universe.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I'm not saying if it seems like I'm harsh. I'm just saying that it's going to be hard now. Like by not there's a way they could have done it, and it just feels like they're not doing it. And by not doing it, they're gonna get grief. And it'll be either justified, which so far has been justified, or even unjustified grief. Like I thought that prematurely judging that stuff without seeing what direction they were going. But again, it was premature. It was like, hey, let's wait and see what they're going to do. We don't know anything about it yet. It could work. And then when they didn't do it, it's like, yeah, dudes, now, you're proving everybody, you're proving all the assholes that I said were assholes, you're proving them all right. Because now it's going to be incredibly hard for anybody to stand up to what they're doing in CW.
I'm pretty sure you just called me an asshole. Pretty sure you just called me an asshole.
No, I don't think you were one of the people who are going, oh no, they have to make Grant Gustin the Flash, in the movie.
That's true.
Yeah. No. Those are the people that I was like, oh no. I'm like, wait, no, they can do it.
They could easily do something else, but they just chose to do it poorly.
They could have easily done it, and it's just like it just seems a bunch of dumb decisions because then they're also making the West family black, which again is a good thing, which means you're kind of taking cues from the TV show, but then you want to be different from the TV show because you're making Wally Barry's. I called him Wally. You're making Barry so drastically different. It's just like, what are you doing? Like it seems like you don't even know what you. It reminds me very much of Fox and their X-Men properties where when they do get a hit, they don't know why they got a hit. You know? And so then they try to do something and it just doesn't go well. So yeah, hey, we got Stargirl on Legend of Tomorrow, and you mentioned the suit, her costume.
Ugh.
They could have gone with that in the Flash movie. It would have been different from the leather one that they're using on the TV show. It would have been more traditional. It would have gone again. These are my problems where it just seemed like there are easier ways to avoid massive headaches, because now you're going to have to go through and try to explain why Barry is wearing metal for a costume that doesn't make sense.
Because it's fast.
It was made from NASA. It was NASA.
Metal's fast. It's fast metal. That's the secret behind NASA. It's none of the rockets. It's the metal.
Yeah. Never mind the fact that Barry Allen can make his own suit from the Speed Force, and you could have done it that way. But anyway, got anything else you got to say about this show, man?
No, it was a really great episode. I really wish we hadn't dipped into the negativity that is going to be the cinematic Flash. Spoilers. The building where Scudder's hiding out is called the Broom Industries, who's John Broome is one of the co-creators of the Mirror Master.
Oh, nice.
Wentworth Miller, even for a little bit, was awesome.
How much do you think? When do you think we're getting them back, and how do you think they bring them back?
Are we doing theories right now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it before we wrap it up. Yeah,
I think Barry's gonna break the time stream again. I think he's gonna do it in time for episode. What is it? 200 of, or is it? Episode 100. Is it? Yeah, episode 100 of the Air of Arrows coming up.
Yeah,
and the cast list is out. That's all I'll say about that.
Well, here's the thing. Do you think it's Barry or do you think it's Thawne?
Oh, I can tie to the Legend tomorrow.
That's what I'm saying, because he's only supposed to be on Legends, and Thawne's breaking all kinds of shit with the timeline.
Well, let's just say he's on Legends. Let's say they find a way. You just have him pull him out of the time stream.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just like Boomerang, Captain Boomerang, in whatchamacallit. Remember how he fell out of the time stream that one time?
Yeah, in Rogue War.
Yeah.
You just pull him out of the time stream. That's an easy fix. But I think it's going to be really interesting to see if I know they can. If they find a way to bring back Wentworth Miller and the other cast members' name I'm not going to say right now, without losing the trust of the viewer.
Right, because you can't. Yeah, and that's where my issue with Barry breaking the time stream again. I don't think you can have him do it. Yeah, I'm like you. I don't think you can have him do it.
Or he has to learn something right now.
Huh? Right.
He has to learn something by now.
Like you know one way I can see them doing it, and it's kind of like they did it. And I know people have mixed feelings about those Legend of Tomorrow crossovers they did. That when he broke it last year, when he did Legend, because people always forget that time. We always forget the time when Vandal Savage wiped out everybody and Barry ran away from the blast, ended up going back in time. He didn't do that on purpose. It just so happened that he was running so fast, he did it. And so if they do it that way, I think it's fine. Because that, like, I'm fine with Barry breaking the timeline by accident and not like he's literally going back in time to change something like he's been doing the last couple times, which has been stupid. But, like, if you have him running from something, he runs so fast that he runs back in time. I mean, can you really blame him?
Yeah.
Like, there's been 2 times Barry's done it, but I've been okay with. It was that time, and then a time when there was a tsunami about to hit the city. And I was like, well, he kind of has to, right?
Right.
I mean, there's no other option for that.
Well, the tsunami was the first time. He did it by accident.
Yeah, right. So, all right, yeah, and like you said, always love Wentworth Miller. So, all right, folks. Well, there you guys have it. That is our recap for the Flash, the new Rogues. It wasn't the new Rogues the name of the? No, that wasn't it. The New 52 run when they first introduced them.
I have no idea.
I gotta look it up and find out. But yeah, you can find the rest of our reviews on movietrailerreviews.net or MTR Network. Search for Super Tuesday Recap. This weekend, we are having another character corner, too. We're doing Dr. Doom. We just did one on the Justice Society of America. Check that out. And so you can find those Character Corner on Stitcher, iTunes, anywhere else you can find your favorite podcatcher. Same thing with Super Tuesday Recap. Leave us a 5-star review or send us an email, and we will read them on air. And until next time, we are out of here. Peace.